He came up behind me and trapped me in a room, held me down, and humped me to the point that he had an orgasm.
Why are you here today at the National Press Club?
Well, I'm here, first of all, to demand the release of the list from the Slush Fund that used taxpayer funds to cover up the sexual indiscretions by members of Congress or even members of the staff that the taxpayers paid for.
Congress has known about sexual misconduct and other kinds of misconduct by its members for years and has doled out your money, taxpayer cash, to keep it quiet. A group called the Office of Compliance has handed out more than $15 million to settle 260 alleged cases of sexual harassment, gender discrimination, and other wrongdoing by members of Congress.
I have just one thing to say to all of you congressmen and all of you senators. We pay you. You owe us. You owe us answers. How did that fund start? Who started it? Why is everybody covering for these people?
Conservative leaders also just being apathetic. They're not here today.
No, they basically patted us on the head and said, oh, girls, have a good conference, right? We're very busy. I am demanding that the Speaker of the House turn over the list to the American people. He may have that high position of the Speaker, but he got that job because he promised the people in his state and the American people that he would serve them well.
John Conyers, Captain Underwear, went around displaying his tighty-whities for all these female staffers. I mean, that is completely inappropriate behavior, and it needs to stop right now. We wanted to revisit a little bit of history. It started in the 1990s when Bill Clinton was actually impeached because of his sexual harassment involving some of these great women who are with us, Juanita Broderick and Kathleen Willey and Paula Jones. It's happening again in the United States Congress and in the United States Senate.
Millennials probably don't know about all the allegations that have made against President Bill Clinton. Tell us a little bit more about your story.
I had my first dream job. I was 19. I turned 20 at the time, right when I started at the station. And Bill Clinton was governor, and he approached me. He was married, and he had a brand new baby girl. I was sitting in a low-back chair. He came up behind me and trapped me in a room, held me down, and humped me to the point that he had an orgasm on my back. And
were you fighting, screaming?
And I was, I remember my hands trying to pull his hands off my breast.
I was sexually harassed by President Clinton in 1993. I was backed into a corner. I was fondled, groped. He forced himself on me. I did everything I could to get away.
This affected my life for years, not only being harassed and ridiculed by the media, but wondering and tippy-toeing around with a governor who was directly in control of my business.
What do you think about top Democrats like Nancy Pelosi defending Conyers and Franken while they call for Roy Moore to step down?
Find zero tolerance. You said there's now a zero tolerance.
Yes.
John Conyers, what does that mean for him right now?
But let's say
in or out?
We are strengthened by due process. Just because someone is accused, and was it one accusation? Is it two? I think there has to be. John Conyers is an icon in our country.
Why do you think the reaction was different by women on Bill Clinton? And I say that because it does seem as if, frankly, when you watch some of the reactions by the president in defending Roy Moore, or at least overlooking the allegations against Roy Moore, that were you putting politics ahead of your personal disgust? No,
but we're talking about a child molester. We're talking about a child molester.
But President Clinton was accused of being a sexual predator.
Well,
and of even rape at one point.
The Democrats have circled the wagons. They are clearly engaged in crisis fallout mode. Al Franken says that he's kind of sorry. He doesn't express what he's sorry for, and he's returned to work. He needs to go home.
I'm going to go back in our Wayback Machine here. Here's you on Meet the Press asked specifically about allegations against President Clinton. Here's what you said back in 1998.
Why the silence when there have been these allegations, serious ones, about President Clinton?
Well, I'd like to say that I think that the women of America are speaking out about what they think about this whole situation. And the women of America are just like other Americans in that they value fairness, they value privacy, and do not want to see a person with uncontrolled power, uncontrolled time, unlimited money investigating the President of the United States. The concern that we had then was that they were impeaching the President of the United States, and for something that had nothing to do with the performance of his duties.
We believe that President Trump has violated the Constitution, and we've introduced 5 articles of impeachment.
We're wearing the pussy hats now. Never thought I'd be saying that, but we're wearing it because he has no right to be grabbing women's pussies.
I don't think this should be a Democratic thing or a Republican thing. This should definitely be an individual victim thing.
Where are you on Senator Franken?
Well, Sammy, I don't think that you can equate Senator Franken with Roy Moore.
The American standard is not about right versus left. It's about right versus wrong.
We have been belittled. Joy Behar has called us tramps. We've been called sluts. We've been called whores. We have been called every name under the sun.
These people in the media that downed me years ago, that said she's lying and would ridicule me, that are coming forward now, it's only because the Clintons are losing their power.
Every day it seems like there's another headline with another accusation of sexual harassment. I think people are a little bit wary of it and also a little skeptical because some of these claims are decades old, older than 30, 40 years old. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think some of these claims are politically motivated?
I do. And I guess in a sense you could say mine was just to the fact that I didn't want that man and that woman in office.
My particular case, you're looking at Bill Clinton, that was the Attorney General, and you say, why didn't you report this to the police? He was the police.
Bill Clinton is a rapist, and Hillary Clinton is his enabler. And it was her secret police that terrorized me. Absolutely terrorized me for 2 years. So secret police killed my pets. They were following me. They knew where I was. I caught people under my deck at 3 o'clock in the morning. The morning after my 60 Minutes interview, I opened my front door, and there was a human skull, an animal skull.
Can you elaborate a little bit about how Hillary Clinton played a role in affecting your life?
Hillary Clinton, approximately 2 to 3 weeks after the rape, personally threatened me. All of a sudden, here is Hillary Clinton between me and the front door. She comes to me with this gracious smile and says, "Hi, I'm Hillary Clinton, and it's so nice to know you, and I just want to thank you for everything that you do for Bill." And I just sort of nodded. I just wanted to get out of there. As she came to me, I thought, oh my God, here comes this poor woman that's married to that horrible man. So I started to leave and get out of there. And all of a sudden she grabs a hold of my arm. She pulls me back to her. There's no smile on that face now. It's strictly a scowl, a horrible scowl. And she pulls me close to her, and she says, "Do you understand everything you do?" I mean, I jerked my arm from that woman, and I left immediately.
But Hillary Clinton seems to have gotten away with scandal after scandal, from Whitewater, email gate, now Uranium One. And Bill Clinton, they've been each other's accomplices. What would you like to see happen to Hillary Clinton?
I think it's happening to him now. I think their loss of power that we're seeing right now is very important.
We live in a William nightmare. Watch out for big brother. Watch out for big brother. We live in a William nightmare. Watch out for big brother. Watch out for big brother.